Where can you travel with 5,000 pesos? Biri Island is one of the most beautiful islands in the Philippines, but not a lot of people have ever even heard of it, which is why we want to make the ultimate Biri Island travel guide so it can help you explore this hidden paradise on a budget. In this video, we show you the best places to visit, the best things to do, and the best way to get there, all under 5,000 pesos. So let's go! Hi guys, my name is Angelica Wanders and this is Eileen Wanders, and welcome to another episode of the 5,000 peso budget challenge. This is a show where we travel with only 5,000 pesos, inclusive of flight, hotel, food, and tours. Literally everything for 5K. And I know it sounds hard to believe, but stick until the end of this video because we're going to show you every single peso we spent. For the past few years, we've been on a challenge of visiting all 82 provinces of the Philippines. And on this channel, we show you our itineraries, our cost breakdowns, and a whole lot of money-saving tips. So if you want to travel around the Philippines in the easiest and most affordable way possible, then this channel is perfect for you. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's explore Biri Island. First off, let's talk about how to get there. Biri Island is located at the tip of northern Samar, and unfortunately, there's no airport on the island itself, so land and sea travel is necessary for you to get there. But let me simplify that for you step by step. First step, fly to Tacloban City. Regular fares to Tacloban can range around 3,000 to 6,000 pesos round trip. But if you snag a piso sale, it can go as low as 1,800 pesos round trip. Second step, from the airport, just take a 20-minute tricycle ride to the Abukay bus terminal, which costs about 250 to 300 pesos one way. Third step, take a 5 to 6 hour bus ride to the Lavazares port. Just find the bus labeled Allen via Catarman and then alight at the Lavazares port. The bus ride is going to cost you 450 pesos. And guys, 5 to 6 hours is indeed a long ride. But we have a little travel hack for you. To save time, you can simply book the night bus. The last trip of the day leaves at 10 p.m. and it arrives at 5 a.m. the next morning. This way, you can just sleep through the long journey and then wake up at your destination. I highly suggest calling the Alvin Transit Bus Company one day in advance to reserve a slot on their bus because it gets really crowded at night and you might not be able to get a seat if you don't reserve. Fourth step, once you hop off at the Lavazares Port bus stop, just walk about 1 to 2 minutes towards the public wet market and look for the mini tourism office to register for a slot on the boat. Private boats going to Biri Island cost 1,500 pesos and can fit up to 15 people. But if you're a budgetarian like I am, you can ride the public boat with the locals for only 125 pesos one way. This is a much more affordable option, especially if you're only a small group of 2. However, you do have to wait for the boat to fill up with a total of 15 passengers. If the boat doesn't fill up, you can just pay for the remaining slots if you're in a hurry or just ask to split the cost with the others. And the fifth and final step, simply hop on to the 1-hour boat to Biri Island and finally, you'll make it to this beautiful destination. There are a couple alternative routes to get to Biri Island, like traveling through Sorsogon, Bicol, or flying to Catarman, Northern Samar, so just feel free to screenshot these options or save this video for future reference. Whichever route you choose, just know that the journey is going to be quite long. But trust me, it's all going to be worth it. And after that hour-long boat ride, let's explore Biri Island. Biri Island is known for 6 major rock formations, and in this video, we'll take you to all of them, along with a bonus destination that will give you the best sunset in all of Biri. The natural grooves and formations on the rocks were formed by the fierce waves, wind, and tectonic movements of the earth that took place for over millions of years. Only God and nature could have created a place this beautiful. But the question is, how do I get around? And how much does it cost? Well, the moment you hit the port of Biri Island, you'll be greeted with a lot of habal-habal drivers that will offer to tour you around. A habal-habal is a modified motorcycle that can seat more than 2 passengers, and this is the most common and convenient way to get around the island. We pre-booked our habal-habal tour with Kuya JR, who you can contact right here. He picked us up at the port and brought us straight to the tourism office. We were so surprised that the whole tourism process here was actually very organized. All habal-habal drivers are required to bring you straight to this office where you can plan your itinerary and also pay for your tours. This ensures that all tours throughout the island have fixed rates, so you won't have to worry about being overcharged. And with our itinerary of visiting all 6 of these destinations, we only paid, wait for it, 1,000 pesos. Yes, this is already good for the both of us, so it only comes out to about 500 pesos per head. Just imagine this, all of these places for only 500 pesos, inclusive of entrance fees already. I can't wait to take you to all of them. But first we have to drop off our luggages. This leads us to our next question. Where is the best place to stay on Biri Island? There aren't any grand hotels or resorts on the island, but there are a few guest houses and humble homestays. Our tour guide Kuya JR recommended a place to us called Gloria Vista Homestay, which costs 600 pesos for a private fan room for 2. Or you can upgrade to an air-conditioned room which costs 1,200 pesos per night. Don't expect anything too fancy, but it was pretty clean and a good enough place to stay for just one night. And after dropping off all of our bags, it's finally time to begin our Biri Island day tour. So we hopped onto Kuya JR's habal-habal and headed over to our first stop, the bel-at rock formation. Guys, no words can truly describe this place. It was absolutely jaw-dropping. Dramatic rocks carved by the waves and a gorgeous natural swimming pool created by nature. In order to get here, you need to take a short 10 to 15 minute walk through a huge mangrove forest. And at the end of the trail, you'll finally be greeted by the majestic view of the bel-at rock formation. This place is known for its huge natural tidal pool, making it a peaceful spot to swim in its clear blue waters. Some people might compare this place to the tidal pools of Siargao, but the difference between the two is that this one was much more untouched. I mean, we were literally the only tourists here and we had the entire place to ourselves. Now on the right side of the pool, we move on to our second stop of the day, which is the Caranas Rock Formation. The rocks here look super duper cool, and you could just tell how ginormous these structures were. The unique shapes and textures of the rocks make it a fascinating spot for photography. And of course we had to take our bikini OOTDs. Visitors can marvel at the natural artistry of the formations while enjoying stunning panoramic views of the ocean. This rock formation and its striking jagged structures is a testament to the raw, untamed beauty of Biri Island. Now just on the other side of bel-at's natural pool, we move on to our third stop, called the Puhunan Rock Formation. This one is the smallest one out of all 6 major rock formations, and it actually kind of resembles a slug. But unfortunately, since it was high tide, we couldn't walk over to it. Although that was fine because we ended up taking our photo shoot right in front of it. Seriously guys, everywhere you look here is picture worthy. Also, thanks to Kuya JR for taking all of our couple shots. Now let's go back and pass through all the mangroves again so we can move on to our next destination of the day. Our 4th and 5th stop on the list are actually right next to each other. Welcome to the Magasang Rock Formation and the Magsapad Rock Formation. These twin rocks are only a few meters apart and separated by a natural pool of salt water in between. But again, since it was high tide, we were stuck on the shore and couldn't walk over to it. But thanks to our handy-dandy drone, we were able to get all the footage we need. They said if you stand right on top of the Magasang Rock Formation and look out at the Magsapad Rock on the other side, this would be one of the prettiest sights in all of Biri. So if ever I come back here again, this would be the first place I'd visit. But hey, nothing is gonna stop us from taking our photo shoot from anywhere on Biri Island. Now the 6th and last major rock formation on Biri Island is the Makadlaw Rock Formation. The name comes from the Bisaya word adlaw, which means sun in English, because it's said to be the best place on the island to watch the sunrise. This one actually isn't part of our tour because we only booked the day tour for 1,000 pesos. But if you want to add the sunrise stop for the following day, it would cost an additional 1,000 pesos good for 2, and you'll have to wake up at 4 a.m. for it. But since we're leaving early tomorrow to get back to Leyte, we decided to skip the sunrise tour and just make the most of our day tour today. Credits to Quan TV for these awesome clips. Anyway, instead of the sunrise, let's just end the day with a beautiful sunset. For our last stop of the day, let's go to Busay Hill. Busay is the highest viewpoint in all of Biri, and it's labeled as the best place to watch the sunset on the island. Kuya JR drove us all the way up to the top of the hill using his habal-habal, and up here you get a picture-perfect sunset view of the entire island landscape. Known for its 360-degree panoramic view of the vast hills and the endless blue of the Pacific Ocean, Busay has earned the nickname Little Batanes due to its resemblance of the rolling hills of Batanes. Plus, there's a flat rock on the side of the hill that serves as a mini platform to stand and admire the breathtaking scenery. Watching the sunset here was really the perfect way to end our Biri Island day tour. This is just proof that Biri Island is much more than just rock formations. Now, by the end of the tour, you might be starving. We almost forgot to mention, where is the best place to eat at Biri Island? Well, here's the thing. There are very few restaurants on the island. I think we only saw 2 restaurants and 1 carinderia throughout the day. There might be more, but to be honest, we didn't see much, even when we were researching online. So our tip would be to simply ask your tour guide to take you to any nearby eatery or carinderia whenever you're feeling hungry during your tour. The locals know better than us. For lunch, Kuya JR brought us to a small carinderia right in front of the tourism office. We ordered some yummy chicken adobo, some fish soup, along with 2 cups of rice. And in total, this amounted to 190 pesos, good for 2. And then for dinner, Kuya JR brought us to Amara's Hotel Restaurant, where we ordered some paksiw na malasugi with 2 cups of rice, along with some clubhouse sandwiches. And in total, our bill amounted to 400 pesos, good for 2. So in the end, there isn't exactly a best restaurant to eat on the island. Let's just support any small local eatery or carinderia that we can find along the way and just order their specialties. And now, it's time to reveal the ultimate 3-day sample itinerary and budget breakdown. Feel free to save this video or send this to your travel buddies for future reference. Let's begin. For day 1, this would be your arrival in Tacloban. And since this is a budget itinerary, let's say you snagged a piece of sale and got a flight to Tacloban for only 1,800 pesos round trip. Once you arrive, take the tricycle to the Abukay bus terminal and book the 10 p.m. night bus to the Lavazares port. You want to board the bus labeled Allen via Catarman and then alight at the Lavazares port. And don't forget to call the bus company 1 day in advance to reserve a seat on the bus. So while waiting for the 10 p.m. bus, you can grab dinner nearby like at Crispy King if you're on a budget, or somewhere at Robinson's North Mall, which is right in front of the terminal. Then once 10 p.m. hits, just hop onto that 6-hour bus ride bound for the Lavazares port. The total estimated cost for day 1 would be 2,525 pesos per head. Now for day 2, let the conductor know that you're getting off at the Lavazares port, which you'll probably reach at around 5 a.m. The moment you get off the bus, just look around for this Breadpoint Bake Shop, then you'll know you're on the right track. By the way, there aren't any restaurants or cafes open at 5 a.m., so I would highly suggest grabbing some bread for breakfast before your boat ride. Then after buying your light breakfast, just walk about 1 to 2 minutes towards the public wet market and look for the mini tourism office to register a slot on the public boat. Public boats only run between 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., so make sure you get here early. Once the boat fills up, which is maybe around 8 or 9 a.m., you can hop onto the 1-hour boat ride and make sure you call your habal-habal tour guide on Biri Island to let him know that you're on the way. At 10 a.m., he can pick you up at the port and take you to the Biri Island Tourism Office, where you can plot your itinerary and pay for your tour package. Then at 11 a.m., you can drop off your things at your hotel and have your tour guide bring you to a nearby carinderia where you can have your lunch. Now 12 noon would be a good time to start the tour. Feel free to rewatch this video to see all of the beautiful spots that you'll witness in your tour package. That would be the Magasang, Magsapad, bel-at, Caranas, and Puhunan. But don't forget the famous sunset spot called Busay Hill. So you could just enjoy the tour throughout the day, and then once the sunset is over at around 6 p.m., you can head over to Amara's Inn restaurant for a big hearty dinner to end the day. Then finally at 7:30 p.m., your tour guide can drop you back off at your hotel. The total estimated cost for day 2 would be 1,325 pesos per head. Now for day 3, this is the day we head back to Tacloban. According to the locals, there is only 1 public boat bound for Lavazares per day, and that leaves at 7 a.m. If you miss this boat, you'll have to book a private one, so don't be late. Good thing our hotel, Gloria Vista Homestay, is just a few steps away from the port. So at 6:30, we just walked to the port and registered for our slots on the public boat. Again, there are no restaurants in the area, but there is a carinderia at the port that was selling some bread and local hotcakes, which we bought for a light breakfast. At 7 a.m., we hopped onto the boat bound for Lavazares, and after an hour-long boat ride, we finally made it to the port. We walked over to the main road waiting for a bus going back to Tacloban. And thanks to Kuya Bitoy for helping us flag down a bus to hop on. Kuya Bitoy is the one who works at the tourism booth at the Lavazares port and handles all the boats going to Biri Island. Feel free to save his number if you need help on your trip. And after a 6-hour long journey back to Tacloban, you can end your adventure enjoying a yummy late lunch at the famous and affordable Crispy King again, or at the Robinson's North Tacloban right in front of the terminal. From here, you can either stay in Tacloban for another night and explore the city highlights the next day, such as the MacArthur Landing, or you can visit the San Juanico Bridge at night. But for the sake of this 3-day budget itinerary, you can just grab a tricycle and go back to the airport for your flight back to Manila. The total estimated cost for day 3 would be 915 pesos. So add all of this together, the estimated cost for a 3 days 2 nights budget Biri Island trip would be 4,765 pesos per head. This is inclusive of flight, hotel, food, transport, and tours. Literally everything from beginning to end. And just a disclaimer, this cost breakdown is considering you booked budget accommodations and ate really cheap meals. However, if you have a little more time and budget, you can extend for a few more nights or maybe even switch up your itinerary, like adding in that sunrise tour for an additional 1K, or even upgrading to an air-conditioned room for a comfier sleep. Whatever will make your Biri Island experience much better for you, just go for it. But regardless, however you want to experience Biri Island, I can guarantee this place will leave you speechless. On this channel, we teach you guys how to save money when traveling, how to make money when traveling, how to book cheap flights and cheap hotels. So if this travel guide helped you in any way, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below if you have any questions about Biri Island. We do our best to reply to every single comment, so don't be afraid to ask. Well, that's it for today. We hope you guys enjoyed this travel guide, and we hope you enjoy your trip to Biri Island. This is Angelica and Eileen Wonders. Never stop wondering.